Hello and welcome to episode 18 of the Lulu Brilliant Knitting Podcast. My name is Paula and I live south of Edinburgh with my husband and my cat, Peppy. Peppy has been on the chair all day after sleeping all night. He's having a very lazy day, even though it's a really beautiful day outside. Anyway, so I actually recorded episode 18 this morning, and the first 7 minutes were out of focus for some reason. The camera hadn't focused on me, it had focused on the dresser behind me. So I only need to record my first finished object again, and then I'm just going to cut into the second finished object, which initially is out of focus, but very quickly, as soon as I hold up the second finished object, the whole thing goes into focus. So it's a bit annoying. Anyway, so my first finished object is the Clover tee by Lenny Home Samso. It's a DK pattern, and I really like it. It's knitted on 4mm needles, and which gives it this really lovely drape. And the design at the top, the Clover design, is really nice. It's actually really quick to knit because the yoke goes really quickly, and then it's just round and round and round for the body, and then of course the sleeves. But partly because it's knitted on 4mm needles, it does knit up really quickly. So I'm really happy with it. Lenny Home Samso, she has quite a few good t-shirt patterns, and so after I'd finished knitting the peacock tee, I was looking for another t-shirt pattern, because I've knitted the peacock tee about 3 or 4 times, 4 times I think, so I really needed something different, and I really like this. Actually, this motif, the Clover motif, it's very similar to the motif on the top I'm wearing now, which is the Rigmore tee by Petite Knit. So I knit it, it's also meant to be a t-shirt. I've knitted it in alpaca wool and extended the sleeves to be 3/4 length sleeves, but it's meant to be a short sleeve pattern, knitted in like cotton linen, but I really like this. The reason I prefer... Peppy just turned round. Why are you having such a lazy day, Peppy? Are you okay? The reason I prefer this Clover tee to the Rigmore tee is the Clover tee is knitted top down, and the Rigmore tee is knitted bottom up, and it's just such a faff. It's such a faff. The Rigmore tee also has the motif all over the whole t-shirt, whereas the Clover tee only has the motif on the yoke. But so on the Rigmore tee, you knit to here, knit the sleeves separately, and then you join the whole thing on a cord, on a circular needle, and then you kind of knit the fiddliest bit of the whole t-shirt at the very end. And it's so fiddly, and you have to remember how to line up all the motifs, and because you've got the front, the back and the sleeves, it just feels like a faff. It feels like a faff. So yeah, so I was really glad when I found the Clover tee, and I thought it was worth buying it. I probably could have reverse knitted the Rigmore tee, but you know, for the sake of a £5, just buy another pattern that's already done it for me. It would have been a big faff, and it would have been a lot of working out, so it's a £5 well spent. So yeah, like I say, Lenny Home Samso, she has quite a few t-shirt designs, and some of them I really like. Some of them are too precise for me and too clean, and yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. I like overgrown. I'm not talking about knitting here. I'm thinking about in any walk of life, like gardening or design or anything. I like stuff that's rustic and organic and overgrown, and you know, not that precise or manicured or, you know, fussed over. I don't like anything that looks like it's too fussy. Yeah, I don't like any kind of fussiness in people's character as well. If somebody's really fussy or needy, it just irritates me. That's why I like this. But Lady Home Samsel, she does have a lot of really nice t-shirt designs. So if you want to go in that direction, some of them look a bit too older for my style as well. But she's just released a t-shirt pattern called the Noomi tee. I think it's the Noomi tee, which I bought. And it looks very similar to, she has a t-shirt called the Muesling tee, which the Muesling tee has an all over, it's like a kind of seashell design. And the Noomi tee just has it looks like the same design but just on the yoke, and it's got a different collar and finishing. So I have bought the Noomi tee, and it's my birthday tomorrow, and my husband has very kindly bought to me the yarn for the Noomi tee, so I'm really excited about casting that on tomorrow. And I got the colour I got, the yarn colour I chose, and maybe because that's the colour she knitted hers in, but the yarn colour I chose was light beige. Like it looks like almost a beginning of sandy off-white. It's not beige, because again you have to be really careful with beige. You don't want it to go into like a dishwater colour. But this looks like it's just kind of off-white, deeper than cream colour. Anyway, it looks really good, and I'm really excited about knitting it. And yeah, I have I've got other yarn. I've got this colour in Drops Bell as well, that I originally bought to make the peacock tee because it looked peacocky. But now I'm thinking I might knit another version of the Noomi tee in the peacock. I'll see how it turns out in the light beige, and then decide. But like I said before, I have so many woolen jumpers now that I need to branch out into knitting t-shirts, which I do really like. And I used to go down to, when I worked on the high street in Edinburgh, I used to go down to Princess Street at lunchtime and just pick up t-shirts in H&M or M&S. But I don't often work on the high street anymore. I'm not based there very often. I want to knit interesting t-shirts. It's a good sideline as a knitter because I have so much knitwear. So yeah, so I'm really excited about knitting the Noomi tee, and I really love this. I'll insert a photo. When I'm inserting this design, I have to do it, I can't insert a photo because I get screen clash, so I have to do it as a split screen, but I'll do that. So yeah, I love this colour. It's raspberry. I just love this colour so much. Okay, the next finished object I have, which is finished, but I will need to go back and, Peppy is so cute, I will need to go back and make a decision about the bottom. So this is the ivy, the pattern is the ivy blouse. I tried to explain this in my last podcast. So Petite Knit has, I think she's got 4 different tops in the ivy range. So the 2 tops I'll talk about are the ivy blouse, which is DK, and it's the pattern I use for this, and she's got the ivy tee. The ivy tee is a short sleeved 4-ply t-shirt. The ivy blouse is a DK long sleeved for like wool jumper. But I didn't want to knit 4-ply, so I used the ivy blouse and I just did the sleeves shorter. So I hope that's a better explanation than the explanation I tried to give before. So this is the ivy. I love this colour. This is the ivy, my version of the ivy tee. So it's DK. It's a denser body because it's knitted on 3.5mm needles. So it feels heavier and it feels denser. So in the photographs, so this is, I used, so it's petite knit, I used King Cole Linendale, and I used 6 balls for this and the Clover tea. Part of the attraction of the pattern was I really liked the rolling neck and the rolling sleeves. I think will look really good. So you can see I've still got my tail attached. The reason I haven't, so I bound off, but the reason I haven't sewn the bound off wool yarn in is because I'm thinking about unbinding off the bottom and either knitting it longer and just letting it have the rolled bottom, or doing a 1x1 quite a chunky rib, and I can't decide what to do. There's something about the rolling bottom that just, I don't know, because even in the Ivy blouse it has a rolling bottom, like on the DK woolen version, and in the photographs it looks okay, but maybe I just need to make this shorter. The other thing I wondered is, so petite knit's body shape and my body shape are very different. She has a very slim frame and small boobs, and I have a smallish frame but big boobs. And none of petite knit's patterns have bust shaping, which is one thing I really like about the Creabea's patterns. They all have the option of bust shaping, and that just means that the garment has the same positive ease over your boobs and your waist, which I prefer. It just gives a much nicer shape. Whereas this is, because I needed, it's a size small, but because I needed to knit a certain size to get it over my boobs, it just means the waist and, yeah, the waist and the bottom feel a bit bigger than I would like it to be. So that's my dilemma. I think, I just wonder if I did a 1x1 rib at the bottom, would that throw out the kind of cohesion of the whole thing, because there isn't rib anywhere else, so I don't know what to do. So that's why I actually finished this quite a while ago, probably about, I don't know, a month ago, and it's just been hanging behind me in the kitchen, and I look at it and I think I must make a decision about that. But I'm going to finish a few things that I've got in my whip pile first, and then I now have a small bundle of knitwear that I need to make a minor adjustment on to be able to wear it. So I've got this, I'll show them in the next episode. I've got a few things. Yeah, anyway. So that's, I do really like it, and like I said, I love this colour. Also for my birthday, I got my husband to get me more of this yarn and a contrasting moss green stripe to re-knit so that I can make another version of. I can't remember what it's called. Let me see if I can. Oh, Pepe's twitching. All his little paws are twitching because he's in his mouth, and whiskers are twitching because he's dreaming. Let me see if I can quickly. Oh yeah, here it is. The Ida Tea by Petite Knit. So I'll insert that. So yes, I've got. I'm getting this for my birthday tomorrow, because this and the green. So the Ida Tea, I did a version of the Ida Tea, and I'll show the version I did in moss green with a purple stripe. But when I was knitting this, and I just had a strand of the moss green kind of resting against it, and it looked so good, and I just thought I've got to knit an Ida Tea in those two contrasting colours. So yeah, that's also in my birthday package tomorrow. Yeah, Pepe has, well, we weren't sure what it was, but I'm pretty sure now that he's got a tick just under his chin in his little tuxedo. We have our garden backs onto a sheep field, and the sheep are lambing at the minute, and so they've all been coming down further than they usually do. And yeah, he's just got, at first I thought it might just be a bit of grass seed, but I could feel it. Meg's had a couple of ticks in the past, so I know what they feel like, and I just had a feel of it this morning, and then I managed to part his fur so that I could get a better look at it, and I'm pretty sure it's a tick. So my husband's shopping at the minute, and on the shopping list is tick treatment, so we can hopefully get it to drop off him. Yeah. So yeah, it's very annoying having ticks on cats, anyway, because it can be dangerous, so we don't want that. So that's my two kind of bigger finished objects. My next finished object, oh, I've got new glasses, which I wasn't sure about wearing them for recording because of the light reflection in them. I hope it's not too bad, but it really helps me to, so they're varifocals, and it makes such a difference. My prescription isn't too wild, I don't think, but I hadn't realised that my long sight was going until my last eye test, and they suggested varifocals, and I know a lot of people don't like varifocals, but I love my glasses. They've made such a difference. So I no longer have to come right up to the camera to see the time remaining. I can see the time remaining, and I can read, and yeah, it's just a revelation. I really like them as well. When we were looking for glasses, I tend to suit kind of rectangular glasses, and these are maybe a bit, but we went looking for frames, I don't know, about a month ago, and these frames are actually, my husband found them, but he found them in a really funky colour. They were kind of blue and pink tortoise shell, but right underneath them were these, which is they're a transparent green colour. They're by Cocoa Mint, and my first ever pair of glasses for reading, the frames were Cocoa Mint. So as soon as I saw these, because I tried on so many pairs of glasses, and as soon as I saw these I just knew and tried them on. I knew that they were the ones that I wanted. So here we are. I'm just aware of time. So my next finished objects, my next two finished objects are, well, I have one, but it's the same pattern, which is Sunday socks by Petite Knit. So these are my, I've been wearing them. I was about to put them in the wash, and then I remembered I was recording today. So these are my Sunday socks by Petite Knit. It's the first time, it's a DK pattern, it's the first time I've knitted the Sunday socks, and they are so quick and so satisfying, and so simple. I know socks, all socks are effectively a tube, but I think because I've been knitting more like colourwork socks recently, the Summerlee Cuff Club socks, it's been a bit more complicated and involved. So by comparison, these are the simplest things in the world to knit. It's just a tube of 2x2 ribbing, and then the heel is heel flap and gusset, but because it's DK, it takes no time at all to do the heel flap and gusset, and then you're back on the tube, and then the toe is just a toe. It's got a pointy toe. I wasn't sure about the pointy toe, but actually they do fit on my feet really well. So they're going in the wash now. So that's the Sunday socks. I'll insert, the wool I used is Drops Fiesta. Sorry, I can just hear a reversing van out the front. Drops Fiesta. So yeah, I really like it. I'm just, oh, they're early. Oh yeah, that's okay. We have a Ring doorbell, so I can check what's happening out the front without having to go to the front door. It's really handy. And if somebody rings the doorbell when I'm at work, I can actually answer the door and say, just leave the package on the doorstep. It's really good. It's really good actually. Yeah, so that's the second pair I made, yeah, Drops Fiesta. So Drops Fiesta, which is, it's a sock wool, which is really good, and they've got really good colours, plain colours and funky colours, and yeah, I really like them. It took 2 balls. It's almost a full ball each to knit, because you've got it's a really long tube which you then fold over to have a cuffed sock. So yeah, that's the Sunday socks. The second pair of Sunday socks I made, they're exactly the same. I knitted them in Drops Fiesta in the colourway Herd Garden. I actually gave them to my friend Karen at Christmas. When we were making our Christmas wreaths, she said she wanted a sock, me to knit her a sock that could come over the top of her boot, and then she never gave me any other directions. So I just, because I was on a Sunday sock knitting frenzy, I thought I would make her a pair of Sunday socks, and that would fit the brief. And so yeah, I'll insert a photograph because I've sent them to her now. I actually sent them, I realised when I was posting them, it was completely coincidental, but I realised when I was sending them that they would arrive on her birthday, so I just wrapped them up and put a little Japanese card in with it to say happy birthday. So yeah, but I'll insert a photograph. Okay, so my whips now. So I'll go through my whips really quickly. So I'm not sure if I've made any progress on the key sweater since I last recorded. I'm on a sleeve, and I really want to finish it, but I just got a bit, well, I just wanted to knit other things. It's such a big project and it takes so long, and I will go back to it because I've been wearing my brown and white key sweater a lot and I really love it. It's so cosy, especially living in Scotland, and the weather hasn't been, there've been, like this morning there was frost, it's been really frosty days, and wearing the key sweater, I've just noticed a bobble. I suspect a cat has pulled a stitch. That's okay, it's going back all right, fine, okay. That's all right. Yeah, so I've been wearing the brown and white key sweater a lot. Just birds on bird feeder. So I do really want to finish this because it's such a great jumper for chucking on, and it looks really good, but it's also a good hanging around the house jumper. So yeah, I do really want to finish this. I don't think I'll knit the key sweater again. Having, like, I've got 4 balls of wool that I'm working the whole time, and it's just a bit of a faff. So I might at some point, but I actually did think about doing a blue and yellow key sweater, but not in the very near future anyway. So that's the key sweater. It's knitted, I've said it before, it's knitted in Drops Charisma and Drops Kid Silk. Yeah, right, so that's that. And then my next work in progress, which I was really into and thought I would, it was when I was on my Sunday sock buzz, and I completely intended finishing these, but so these are for another friend's birthday in June. Again, it's Drops Fiesta. I'm at the point where I need to just knit the toe, and then one sock will be finished, and then I'll need to knit the other sock. But my Sunday sock buzz ran out, and I wanted to knit something else, so that's where I stopped, which is a bit daft because I'm so close to finishing one sock, and I'll finish one sock and then I might put the project away until closer to her birthday. Her birthday is in June. I'm also not entirely, she likes pink, but I'm not sure she likes light pink or pastel pink, so I'm not sure about the colour now. Anyway, this is the colour they are, and these are the socks she's getting, so I hope she likes the colour. I've knitted her a Sophie scarf before and she liked it, so I'm hoping. I mean, they're such great socks, and they live in a coldish house, so I hope she likes the colour. But yeah, so that's my Sunday socks for Janie. And then my two other rips, one is in a bag. So I've had the pattern, excuse the rustling, I've had the pattern for the Friday tee for ages, the pattern and the wool. This is Knitting for Olive cotton merino. It's really beautiful. It's oh, I don't have the contrast and colour. It's dusty banana and dark cognac, and I actually, so I've knitted the collar, as you can see. That's how far I've got. So you can see the line in the middle is the fold for the collar, gets a folded over collar. So it's petite knit Friday tee. It's a really beautiful tee. I think I did the main colour in the lighter colour instead of the darker colour. What I'm trying to say is I wish I'd switched the contrast colour in the main colour. When I was buying, I wish I had done the main colour in the cognac and the contrast in this. I think I just, Petite Knit's version was light main colour, dark contrast colour, and I think I just went with that. But the dark cognac is so deep and rich and beautiful, and I don't know where the ball is. I'll insert a photograph. That I wish I had switched the contrast and main colour. Anyway, I really enjoy, this is 4-ply, and that's why it's taken me so long to get around to casting it on. And the main reason I've stopped here, well, the only reason I've stopped here, is because in the instructions it says pick up, on another needle, pick up the cast on edge here, and then you're knitting the live edge and the cast on edge together to fold the collar over on itself, and then you continue knitting. So it's a way of knitting down the collar without you having to go back later and knit down the collar. And I've done it where, at the end, where I've knitted, where you cast on for the collar and then knit the collar and then knit down at the very end, knit the collar down. I've done that and that was fine. But I cannot find any instructions for how I'm meant to pick up these stitches. And I'm maybe making more of a deal of it, or more of a making it more complicated than it actually is. But when I think about when I'm looking to see where I would put the, or do I just, I haven't figured it out yet. Maybe it's just, maybe you go in the top. Is that where you go? Well, maybe. I'll have to count. Maybe I just pick up the top. I think I'm making it more complicated. Nobody else on any forum I've been on seems to have had any trouble with that part of the instructions, and Petite Knit herself doesn't have any special instructions for this part. But it stopped me in my tracks, and even though I was dreading knitting 4-ply, I actually really enjoyed it. I was really enjoying. This took me no time at all to knit because I was enjoying it so much. And the t-shirt itself is beautiful, so there you go. Who knows? Right, okay, so that's my, I also got this, I've got two of these funky counters from, it's a Knit Pro row counter. I really like it. It's great. So I've got Knit Pro row counter, and it's very funky. Put that back. Yeah, okay. So that's that, and my final whip is another Clover tea. So Clover tea, Lenny Home Sam. So this is knitted in Drop Spell. Drop Spell brought out a few new colours a few months ago, and this, I can't remember what it's called. I'll find the name and put it in. But I just love this colour. It's they did have a brown. I think it's, I can't remember. It might be chestnut or something. But they did have a brown, but it's a lighter brown, and I actually do have some of that to knit another Ida tea. But I just really love this colour. I really like warm, chocolatey, earthy browns. So as you can see, I've split for sleeves. I've done the yoke. I'm now just knitting in the round, and I've got in at 25 centimetres. I've probably got the same again to go. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. So I ran out of recording time. I don't exactly remember who I got up to, but I think I was just going on about how much I loved this Drop Spell colour. And yeah, so I don't have much more to go. I cast this on a week and a half ago, which is good going. I think because it's so simple, the yoke is really simple and enjoyable, and then it's just round and round. It's such a simple construction. I've done it so many times. So yeah, and it's knitted. You start knitting at the collar, and you finish at the rib, and then you knit the sleeves. And there's no, you don't have to go back and pick up any collar or sleeves or anything. It's just all knitted. Without having to pick up stitches or sew anything together, which is my favourite construction. So yeah, there's not much more to say about this. I'm really looking forward to finishing it and knitting more. I have Drop Spell in, is it petrol colour? It's very similar to this actually. And I thought about knitting, I'm not sure, sometimes, like, because I had a lot of this in stash, so I had a lot of Drop Spell and King Cole Linnedale in stash, and I've got 6 balls of all the colours that I liked, or 7 balls and a contrast colour for a couple of Ida teas that I liked. But the 6 balls that I bought just for t-shirts, I bought without any particular t-shirt in mind, but somehow certain colours lend themselves to certain designs. So I knew after I'd finished the pink Clover tea, the raspberry Clover tea, I knew I wanted to do this chestnut Clover tea. And the petrol colour, I'm not entirely sure what t-shirt I want to do that in. I initially bought it to do the peacock tea in. I bought it thinking I'd do the peacock tea in petrol because that's the colours in a peacock. But I think I've knitted the peacock tea too many times now. I need to do something else. So I'll maybe figure out another t-shirt for the petrol colour. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that. So that's all of my finished objects and all of my whips. My husband will be home in about 10 minutes. With the shopping. I'm really lucky he likes shopping and cooking. I can't stand food shopping, and I'm not good at cooking either. I just don't have an affinity for it. When he's away and I have to go shopping for myself, I literally feel like it's a waste of time. It's so tedious. Yeah, I really hate it. But he likes it, so it's good. When he cooks really delicious food. When I cook, because I don't have a feel for it, the outside is burnt and the inside is raw, and it's just, and if I can't make something, it has to take 5 minutes tops when I'm cooking. If it takes longer than 5 minutes, I've lost interest. So it's lucky that he likes cooking, because otherwise I don't know what we'd eat. So just a couple of life things. What have I been doing? I've been reading. I've been running a lot lately. I really like getting out in the morning, first thing, obviously before I've had breakfast, before anybody else is going to be around, and just doing a half-hour run. And I just, mentally, it does me so much good. I love the fresh air and the light. I'm in the countryside, so I often bump into deer and birds, and yeah, it's just having fresh air in my lungs is just really good. And it's good to get steps in early in the day, because I try to hit between 10 and 15,000 steps a day. Yeah, so because I've been running, I've been reading this book. I haven't got that far into it, but it's Murakami, What I Talk About When I Talk About Running, and it's part memoir. And so his writing routine, he's a Japanese writer, his writing routine apparently is he writes in the morning. I think he gets up at a funny time in the morning, 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, starts writing, writes for 7 or 8 hours I think, and then in the afternoon he runs 10k every day I think. So yeah, it's just a memoir on running. Otherwise, yeah, it's my birthday tomorrow. I had a party here on Saturday, and so about a month ago I decided, well, I've been thinking about it for a while. So last year I was watching Rivals, the TV series, which is set in the 80s, and at one point in Rivals they have a garden party where there's 80s music playing and everybody's dressed in 80s gear, and it's like at one point they're all singing and dancing to the Birdie song, which I thought was really funny. Anyway, so this idea of an 80s birthday party has been bubbling in my mind for a long time, and about a month ago I told my friends that I was going to have an 80s themed barbecue. It was my friend, so I was just thinking about music and maybe food. It was my friend's idea to suggest that everybody dressed up in 80s clothes. And so the closer it got to the date of the party, I was tracking the weather every day, and I could tell we'd had some really nice days, but I could tell that Saturday wasn't going to be, warm enough, or the forecast eventually was cold, windy and a bit of rain. So I switched it to being an indoor party 2 or 3 days before the date. But because I had an inkling that I wasn't going to be able to hold a birthday barbecue, and because so much time had elapsed since watching Rivals, I'd gone off the boil for the 80s themed party. But I didn't really tell anybody that, so I ended up just having a party in the house, and everybody turned up apart from me and my husband. Almost everybody turned up wearing 80s gear. It was really funny. It was just really funny. Yeah, it was so funny. And then I felt a bit bad, but also just thought it was really funny that I'd forgotten to tell people. I'd also promised in my WhatsApp, so I said I would, having a house party, I'd have nibbles and sausage rolls and cake, and I always make meringues dipped in chocolate, so I had all of that, and crisps and nuts and things. But then again, because it was in the house, I forgot, because the meringues were in the oven until the last minute, and then I'd dipped them in chocolate. So because the oven was off limits until people were arriving, I completely forgot about the sausage rolls. So it wasn't until everybody had left that I said to my husband, we completely forgot to put the sausage rolls out. And then one of my friends made a joke about it, because they'd obviously been looking forward to the sausage rolls. So as a party host, I think I dropped the ball a bit in my hosting skills. Yeah, I'd just gone off the boil. I think if it had been in the garden, and we'd been able to have the barbecue and have the 80s music, it would have been fun. But anyway, it was a really nice time. Everybody knows each other really well, and so I think everybody sitting around in their 80s gear, it was fine, and we were chatting, and it was nice to see everybody. And we did manage to get out for a walk. We went a walk to the river and then came back, and then we toasted marshmallows in the garden, and that was really nice. Had birthday cake, etc, etc. So it was nice. People stayed for a long time, so they must have been having a nice time, I presume. But yeah, maybe I need to call the theme of the party closer to the actual party, so that I haven't gone off the idea by the time the party actually arrives. Anyway, that was funny. Okay, so thanks for watching, and it'll probably be another month before I record, and yeah, hope you are enjoying spring. Okay, thanks very much. Bye bye.